What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Apologies about that. We unfortunately were subject to factors out of our control. OBS crashed, so had to restart the stream, but hopefully we're not going to be missing any of the action. They were just changing servers in the meantime, so I have a feeling we're going to be able to catch everything from the beginning. Yep, haven't even gotten into the pistol round, so hopefully we haven't lost too many people. Thanks for sticking around, Nick.
Technical difficulties on everyone's end, huh? The
Yeah.
server, no, it just happens. But we're gonna jump back into it, and I'm keen to watch some Counter-Strike. But you said you wanted to talk about the layouts of the tournament.
Yeah, I'll bring that up
like
in a second. That was actually what crashed OBS, was me trying to bring up that that scene, or that source rather.
Maybe we just hang 10 on that then. Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
No, actually it's worked this time. We have it. We got it open, so it's actually all right. So let's have a look at this on stream then, while we have some downtime. Nick, you want to just talk everybody through there while I just make sure everything's running smoothly with the stream? Just talk about the teams 100%. And the group 1 and
for those
group
of you
2,
who
maybe.
don't know,
yeah,
100. So there's two groups of 9 teams each. Top 8 of each group goes through. The top 4 of that 8 goes through to the upper brackets, and the bottom 4 of that 8 goes towards the lower bracket. The bottom team in each group, they're out, they're finished. They are finished and clear for the tournament. But for those of you that don't know, we're looking at teams like ATK, like Goliath Gamer Prize, which is the VS Masters. So we're looking at top teams in the country. They each deserve to be. There's over 110 teams that would have entered throughout the year, and now we got the meat and the potatoes, as HAzE likes to say. We got the juice right at the end of it all, the bragging rights that will come at the end of this. So after the BO2s in the group stages finish, 1 point for a draw, 2 points for a victory, absolutely nothing for an L. After that, you go through towards the upper bracket, BO3s, you play out, and you play and you play and you play some more until you find yourself in the final 8. And that will correlate with the online performance at Comic-Con, where you'll finally find your victors of the VS Gaming Masters. And I mean, right now, we've got ATK who are right at the top, but we're looking at the other teams that are looking to take that crown from them as the undisputed best team in South Africa at the moment.
Yeah, that's exactly it, Nick, and we're going to be able to see if they're able to win when it matters the most. Of course, we haven't had any major events so far in local CS. We've had some cool smaller cups, and it's actually really important to have those smaller cups as well, just to stimulate the scene and keep them going. But the Comic-Con event is going to be the biggest that we've had so far this whole year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing if ATK can bring it to the big stage. Hypothetical big stage, because they're going to be still playing from the comfort of their homes,
stage, unfortunately.
Drinking Coke Zero, being all comfortable. But the event still matters, so that's what matters the most. Of course, we're going to be having all these teams battling it out through that 3-stage event to try and reach the final 4 and be a part of the teams who will be playing at the online series of Comic-Con Masters. So let's see exactly what's going to be going on here on Niix. Royalty versus Sinister5. We've had a few technical difficulties with the server, but it seems like they have settled on one now, and we should be jumping into the game momentarily.
Yeah, and for those of you who weren't able to catch the first map, that was over on Dust 2. That was Royalty Esports' pick. That finished 16-8. But even though, as HAzE mentioned to earlier, that 16-8 doesn't completely tell the storyline of that map. We saw Royalty win out full eco, and ultimately finished out the game with a couple rounds after that over on the CT side, after they were up 9-6 at the end of the T half. And that game finished 16-8, and now we're actually going to be jumping into the knife round straight away. I assume Kill is going to be put into console, and Royalty will be able to select the side in which they would like to start, which I would suggest and most likely be CT. Going to see ultimately what happens here. You're going to pick a side. Oh, that's paused again. Okay, they're just dot readying, so we should be fine. So I assume would be the CT side. And for those of you who don't know, for those of you that are new to the Counter-Strike, the game that we know and love, Niix is one of the more heavily CT leaning maps, and you're going to be wanting those 9-6, those 10-5s, those 11-4 halves in your favor on the CT side. As we do see Royalty, they are going to select the CT side. EXE is going to buy a smoke, 2 flashes and a kit. We're going to see a molly, 2 flashes on Elusive. And that just suggests a molly towards top hut and 2 flashes towards the A bomb site. And they're going to go guns blazing.
Yeah, as you said that though, Elusive, he immediately detours and he's heading outside with his utility. They're actually going to have the ninja drop down into the ace bomb site through mouth. In fact, no, they're wrapping around towards heaven. Nobody can make the call of exactly what's going down, although the bullets landing right now are coming from the weapons of the CTs, predominantly at least. Elusive finally gets a kill back, but he's going to have to find 3 more here to clutch this one out for his team. And Royalty know exactly where he is. All 3 players are stacked up. None of them are pushing him. They're all working with one another. And it's the pistol round going the way of Royalty. A nice start to the second map here.
I think I'm left scratching my head with that pistol round, to be honest. Because you've got 2 flashes and a molly. And you try to hit outside with that. And you're fighting the ESPs at range without any smokes for covering. But be that as it may, the round goes the way of Royalty. We're seeing a force buy coming out from Sinister5, upgraded pistols, smokes, a couple mollies and a couple flashes, and that they're gonna hightail it towards outside. He's gonna head over towards Secret, taking first contact. He's only good for 1 with the trade coming out from lately, and the spray through the smoke takes Elusive down to 61 points of health.
Yeah.
Now they're down Secret. All 3 T's are congregating towards that position. The B bomb site is open as of this moment. The question is, who's gonna win this round?
Yeah, Sinister5 have actually gotten themselves into a fairly decent position, but the fact that they're a player down and actually they've taken a bit of chip damage as well is going to make it very difficult for them. Doobie rooted in here as well. He's going to be able to find a kill. He finds his second as well. Lately going to trade him out as he finds his third in the round. That Tech9's been doing work. It's actually the ace clutch. He opens the door, and again, a really nice approach from Royalty. Both of the players just stacking up on top of one another. It's really simple Counter-Strike, but it's really effective, and it's actually quite refreshing to see that Royalty are implementing this structured Counter-Strike into their game. And you know what? Something we forgot to chat about is something Doobie mentioned in that interview that we did with them on the Just Chatting panel. He mentioned that their coach has been having a significant impact in their gameplay, and I can so totally see the style and the structure coming into this roster. It's really impressive, and coupled with the firepower that they actually have at their disposal, this team can go quite far, Nick. Like, I think that this Royalty team can start taking some names, and they can start finding some upsets in some BO1s and pushing the likes of Energy, Sinister5, Goliath, ATK eventually as well, maybe making them work hard on the map. It's about making subtle improvements. You don't have to all of a sudden take a map off of ATK in a series to feel like you're making progress. If you're able to push them to 12 rounds where you're only pushing them to 6 before, that's an improvement, and it has to be seen as one. And I feel like Royalty are fully capable of actually reaching that point, so let's see.
I couldn't agree with you more, and now we've got, as we've alluded to before, Royalty, they're a young roster. There's no real old guns, no real experienced names as of 5 years ago that you can say is on the same sort of the side of the Sinister5 roster, but you got young guns, and I think with a bit of experience under their belt, with time in this roster, as we've said before, new roster, 2 new changes coming in, and it's going to be interesting to see where they can go. But that being said, we're into the 4th round of Nuke. Slayer's able to get the first kill of the round, and early into the round, 20 seconds gone. It's a 4v5.
Yeah, that's a pretty big pickup as well, just because of how early on it is, and you can see that Sinister5 don't even move a muscle after finding that kill. They just continue to sit back and post. They know that if Royalty is going to try anything, this is when it's going to be happening, because they're a man down. So they maybe try and make a push happen, and then Sinister5 can punish them even further. Although Royalty just going to be sitting and waiting for the moments. As I say, that God's not here, gets super aggressive off the back of the flashbangs, but the flashes weren't effective enough. Leggy able to get 1 on the cross. So that just keeps things in check somewhat.
Lately, he's trying to attempt a cross, but he's found 2 flashes to no effect, and Elusive actually is able to catch EXE, getting a bit preemptive over towards lobby, and now that's the call for the A hit to come in. The A pinch could come in, but we've got Doobie over towards Secret. He's going to confirm this. He's going to have a late flank towards Mouth. Question is, do Royalty choose to go for this? They got the AWP that they purchased into this round, and possibly saving is the better idea, and I think it is going to be that. But they're just going to save the AWP in the M4. Doobie will be able to drop over 1 next round. That will be over towards Donkey, and God's not dead, and EXE can reinvest. We're going to see another full buy round next round.
Yeah, we will, and it's going to be a better buy than what they had this round. Remember, they had like the FAMAS and the SMG, so
Yeah.
it wasn't ideal to start with. It was always going to be a bonus round from the get-go. But it is very important that they save these weapons, and Doobie would have been heard there as he tried to jump up on the box. Nice flash, but that's only the start of the job. He actually swings out quite wide.
Why is he in...
Yeah, he swung out way too wide there. Just made it near impossible for him to actually save that weapon when 3 players swing out. Fortunately for him, it's not going to be the end of the world. Leggy can still drop an M4 here, so it's still going to be M4s across the board. And this is where Royalty need to make a stand in this round. If they want to start building an early platform on their CT side, they can kick that off by winning this round. This is it. Early days.
Yeah, and so far in the group, we've got Sinister5. They're currently 2-0, 2 victories to 0 losses or 0 draws, and the same can't be said about Royalty. They were able to fight out a draw against Critical 5 over on Vertigo and Dust2 respectively, and they got the victory against another team that was missed Esports the other night. And so Sinister5, in terms of the group setting, they're looking a bit better in terms of they're on top of the leaderboard along with Nibble Conspire, I believe they're tied with. So Royalty, they want to get another win under the belt to ensure that they're not going to be towards the bottom position. As we said, we're not going to expect either of these teams to be possibly eliminated from this, but we've spoken about the importance of getting through to that upper bracket.
Exactly.
The pillow that you have sleeping on those BO3s at night instead of BO1s, and you said you were trying to advocate for those BO1s to be overturned to BO3s, and how's that gone?
Actually, haven't got any official word on it yet. It might have been changed, but I haven't heard. I'll get in touch with the big ones in charge to find out exactly what's going on.
The big boys, yeah.
The big boys.
Because as you've spoken about, having a BO3 to fall back on is a lot better rather, not a lot more better, but a lot better than those BO1s, which we've known can go either way. But we're on Niix and we're into the 5th round, and Donkey pretty much overstaying his welcome.
Yeah,
welcome. He gets decapitated by Slayer. Just like that, that's the B bomb side awarded, and this was the full investment from Royalty. So they're gonna choose to save these weapons once again, and hopefully they can do so for their sake.
Yeah, I mean, they're still heading down towards Secret, but I don't think that this retake should be considered even remotely. All 3 players are going to be coming from the same place, makes it very one-dimensional. There's so much util still left in the pockets of Sinister5.
I've heard you.
And Nick, now we're starting to see Sinister5 get into their groove on the T side. You can see just by the way that they're moving around the map, the way that the decisions that they're making. They're a heavy mid-round decision-making team. In fact, the T side of Nuke is incredibly important to have mid-round decisions on point, because you're always reacting to information and changes that are going on. It's a very close-knit T side. You're not really too far from the teammates, regardless of where you are in the early stages. So there's plenty of options to rotate quickly if the opportunity presents itself. If you get a quick picket ramp, maybe you fake ramp and then you push outside, vice versa. Always considering the upper bomb side hits. There's so many different options. The T side of Nuke is tough, but once you've worked it out, it's not as difficult as people think it is.
And especially, as you've alluded to there, just with regards to the fakes, throwing those outside smokes early in the half and putting that seed of doubt in Royalty's mind in this case, that once you've thrown those outside smokes, are you going to go down Secrets or are you not going to? And that could possibly delay a couple of rotates. And ultimately, everything builds up in the end of the day. We've seen Sinister5, they've posted 2 in a row now to Royalty's 3. It's actually going to be Leggy towards ramp. He's going to take first contact over towards Deviant, tag him down to 47 points of health and drop the molly to deny that re-aggression. But he's going to be reposting. He's going to try find these fights and try wrestle this round in Royalty's favor. And he's actually looked away at the worst possible time that could have been able to possibly catch him a kill. But that being said, there's 2 USPs, 2 M4s and an AWP against the 5 rifles of that on Sinister5 as this A hit seems to come in, but Donkey is able to catch Slayer looking the wrong way. Deviant with the trade and Zero Chance coming in with one of his own, and EXE finishing that duel out. It's now a 3v3 and info has been gathered, the bomb has been dropped, and that would be known by Royalty. And again now, Sinister5, they left a bit flustered, they don't know what to do, but they do have the position of Lately, which I think is possibly unknown by Royalty, and he could get something done in this round.
Yeah, Royalty have still been able to maintain a bit of a grip on the bomb side. The EXE, though, doesn't expect the player to be coming from heaven. Even I got caught off guard there by him. And that's going to be securing the round, and that's exactly why they were playing so passive. Deviant and Elusive were just playing the waiting game, buying as much time as they possibly could have for Lately to come into the equation. And this is going to be another round secured by Sinister5. So they're going to be leveling things up at 3-3. Leggy going to save this AWP again. I think this is the third round now that he's saved this AWP.
Yeah, something along those lines. But now we're gonna see, as you said, we're gonna see Sinister5. We're gonna start seeing what they're made of on their map pick. We're gonna see them string a couple rounds together, and this is gonna be their third. Now Royalty, they need to start getting things under control. Once again, as the T side, if you can get control of the CT's economy, your life's a breeze.
Yeah,
that's exactly what the T's are trying to do. Deny this AWP save, but Leggy's able to save it, and yeah.
At least for Royalty, that was a save round, right? They were just using their 3 weapons that they saved from the 5th round. So they're going to be able to buy up here regardless. But Sinister5, as I said, they found their groove. They've won a couple buy rounds. Their T side is starting to look nice and fluid. They're hitting their shots. And lately, who just actually seems to be a bit of a monster on this map, has already found his footing. He's picked up 7 kills. I remember watching him on this map against Dynamic, actually his ex-team, and he was a monster. So yeah, looking forward to seeing if he can find that form, as he normally does on Nuke. He seems to have slotted into the Sinister5 fairly seamlessly, I must say. He's taken on a role of being one of the fraggers and being one of the heavy hitters, and it's working out really well. The team's actually setting him up really nicely, giving him a lot of info, and you can see he's got a lot of confidence in his approach right now, and I didn't really see him playing with that confidence towards the end of his days in Dynamic, so it's just good to see him being reinvigorated again.
Yeah, I was just about to say that we're starting to see, especially under the Sinister5 roster, the sort of fragging potential that lately does have. And we're actually going to see Zero Chance bring out that fragging potential of his own, as Donkey is able to double down, but lately comes in with the trade. Speak of the devil, and he will appear as what they say, but EXE shuts lately out of the round. That is the bomb dropped, and the A sites is known to be the hit. And Elusive could get caught up by Doobie, but Doobie seems to not have heard that sound cue of that step that Elusive just gave off there. But now the task of the T's is to find possibly CTs in transition, and that's exactly what Elusive is able to do over towards Leggy. Now 3v2 rather. 3v2.
Oh wow.
He's caught getting a bit preemptive over towards Squeaky Door, and just like that, it's EXE left 1v2. Doesn't know where the bomb is, and he is actually able to win that 1v1 over towards Elusive. And now he's already peering over towards Heaven. The seed has been planted that he could be coming in with his flank, and he's going to clear out lobby, and that is going to confirm that it's probably going to be either Heaven or Mouth where Zero Chance is going to come in from. And Zero Chance has to give out a sound cue to plant this bomb, and that is there it is.
He nearly did the silent drop. You can actually drop down there silently. There's like a little pixel you can land on. EXE hasn't even heard the plant coming through. As the bomb gets planted, now he's going to have to start to explore. Is it A? Is it B? And he's going to realize it is indeed the A bomb side as he starts to come through Squeaky Door. Zero Chance. He's still behind the silos. He's actually just going to land the straight up headshot. And he destroys the young gun EXE. This time, it's the old boy who comes through with the win. Zero Chance picking up the one for his team. And that's a bit of a problem for Royalty. Nick, that was a round that they were in charge of. They had a command 100%. On. And they should have converted into a win.
And that was a full investment from Royalty as well. They had everything into that round. They had the rifles, they had the AWP, and ultimately it was just their own mistakes that they were the architects of their own downfall in that scenario.
Yeah.
That being said, this should be the 5th post on the board, but sure, Royalty did last map. But Nuke, you don't really have that same sort of trap that you can fall into. Possibly an A stack could be your demise or an outside rush, but it's a lot easier to deal with than a full long stack. But even then, that was a bit of a misplay from Sinister5, and they're not going to be thinking about that going into this. But there's 4 Deagles alive, the pocket rockets, and going to see what they're going to get done.
Yeah, you can see that Sinister5 are paying a lot more respect in this anti-eco round as well, in just the way they're approaching it. They've got the 2-3 split, 2 players posted inside waiting for any aggression, and then 3 players moving around as a unit outside. And I'm way more of a fan of this sort of strategy, because you're showing that presence outside. The ramp player and the A bomb side players might get compelled to push into lobby, so you've got the 2 players posted in there watching for the aggression. And then you've got 3 players outside who are playing off of one another. They have the superior weaponry, and they make sure that they're always at arm's length of one another, so that the trade is always on the table if a frag comes through, and they can always give each other cover as well. So nice anti-eco there from Sinister5, but now we move into a really important gun round. Are Sinister5 going to continue this run? They've won 5 consecutive rounds already, or are Royalty going to be putting a stop to them?
They've got the ball rolling, and especially on their map pick, as we've said multiple times, it's important for that to happen, as They're actually going to push towards Warehouse, and God's not dead. He's going to hit the sound fuse. He's able to catch Elusive with the wrong way, but now Lately comes in with the trade pretty effectively, and they've wrapped the complete outside, and Doobie's able to get one of his own at the night trade for the meantime. He's actually able to catch Lately in the middle of nowhere and get two.
There we go.
Now it's a 2v4.
This is looking way better for Royalty. They've been able to deal with this wave of aggression being thrown at them by Sinister5. It's only Deviant left in the 1 versus 4. Pretty much the only thing he has working in his favor right now is that there's over a minute left on the clock. Outside of that, not much else going for him. He doesn't have the bomb on his back, and they're going to be expecting potentially a Heaven push just purely because he's taking so long. I'm sure there's someone watching Heaven from A right now.
I'd hope so, at least. I'd hope so.
There is somebody, right? Okay, it's Donkey.
It is Donkey.
Donkey's got it, yeah.
Low HP Donkey, but
thank God.
See what he can get done. Yeah, and in that sort of case, ooh, he's going to get straight away. He's going to re-peek and take that gunfight, and now Royalty, now's their chance to put Sin5 back in their place. They've already posted 5 rounds. Now they need to, Royalty need to string a couple rounds together, keep men alive, and start making a dent in Sinister5's economy.
Yeah, again, Sinister5 changed things up there slightly, decided to be aggressive and see if they can get the 1-2 sucker punch to maybe kick Royalty while they were down. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them go back to their slow, methodical play. Deviant's gonna have to shoot a hole open in the door. He's gonna have to settle for that because he missed his nade.
Oh, Leggy?
Didn't even see what happened there. I was watching Deviant's POV. What, through the smoke, or was that before the smoke bloomed? Oh, was it through the hut or ramp?
Yeah, through hut.
Oh no,
through
okay.
I mean, hey, you gotta, he tried to make a gamble, didn't pay off.
Yeah. I mean, if he got the kill, we'd be sitting here calling him a genius, right?
Facts. But now, this is a very important round for Royalty, and they were already man down, so now, the question is how they're gonna bring it back. They've got the only significant piece of utilities left on Doobie, and he's already dropped that molly over toward ramp. Now it's a 5v4, and the A-hit's gonna come in, and just as what I was saying on Dust 2, the Sinister5 utility management wasn't the greatest. No, Royalty, this A-hit's gonna come in and there's no hits or whatever.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
He just
there.
burned.
Yeah, the timing just wasn't there, and it's actually a bit of an awkward setup on the bomb site. Both of the players are sort of tucked into a corner. They're both hoping that somebody else is going to take the heat off of them, which then will allow them to maybe find a 2-piece. But the problem is that you're both waiting for someone else to take the attention. Neither of you are leading that charge, so they both just get hard cleared. And Sinister5 bursting onto that A-bomb site had no trouble whatsoever. It's damage control now for Royalty to try and save these weapons. And look at Sinister5, they're just throwing bodies at the situation, trying to deny Royalty saving these weapons. And this is looking good from Sinister5. They're changing things up nicely, they're moving around the map really well. And I just love the decisions that they're making on this T side. They found that early pick, and they just manipulate Royalty's defense. You saw that Royalty didn't have any confidence into where they had to put their numbers. And when you don't have any info and you're just sort of taking a stab at where you think you have to be, oh man, it's going to be really tough to hold against the execute once it comes.
100%, but with all that being said, we've got another buy round coming out from Royalty. There's a 2-round advantage going the way of Sinister5 with that round win, but now this is the last full buy Royalty can really get before they have to go through with the eco, and we're going to see they're going to drop those mollies early and try to get some early map control. They've got nothing from it, and going into the mid-round it's even pickings, 5v5, and we're going to see what Royalty can get done. Leggy, he's not being too preemptive towards lobby this round, he's just posted up towards T-red, trying to catch any T's crossing without smokes possibly. But this is an extremely important round for Royalty, and the economy on the terrorists is still looking quite good. Zero chance is almost at 10k. We've got Slayer who's on almost 6k, so they can still get a couple buy rounds in after this. But now Royalty, they need to start stringing some rounds together and making them clean ones at that. Yeah,
agreed. They need to mount a bit of a platform here on the CT side to give themselves something to work with heading into that second half, because right now it's one-way traffic, and that traffic is painted green, and the truck is driving into the faces of these Royalty players who are just trying to keep some control. But it's not there. Goes for the timing push outside, and he's actually able to find the double kill. That was so important that he found the multi-frag, because now he's actually left his team in a potentially winnable situation. Deviant, he wants to join his teammate towards this lower bomb site, but Leggy's already dropped down. This is tough for Royalty. They've just hedged their bets with one player on each bomb site. Elusive and Deviant, they're splitting onto A right now. Deviant clearing out all the corners. Realize that vacant is indeed the vacant site. And did Deviant spot him in there in HAzE? He must have. Hopefully a teammate has made the call. This is not ideal for Sinister5 though. They can't really get into some favorable post-plant positions. Elusive taking some heat. Both of these royalty players are going to be pushing in together from the squeaky door, just systematically clearing out the angles. EXE finds Elusive, and now it's left on Deviant in the clutch. He dispatches off the first. Now it's just EXE left in his guys. Trades up for the AK as he pushes forward. He has the kit on his back, so he can afford to take a bit of time in his approach up, but it's Deviant who wins it out with the cool, calm, and collected approach.
And just as we were saying that royalty need to string a couple rounds together, they lose an important full buy. And now they have to get a single eco out rather. But Doobie and the boys, they're gonna purchase up some upgraded pistols. And we're looking at 8 on the board for the terrorists, and that's not what you want to hear, especially if you're trying to get this 2-0 victory in the series. And you're already the T side. They're looking like they're gonna win out the T half on Nuke, which is especially an achievement in itself. And the first kill going the way of Elusive on towards Doobie, and God's not there, just gonna try rescue his back, and he's actually able to catch some contact over towards ramp, but he's unable to get anything done. And now royalty again, they're left scratching their heads. They don't really, doesn't seem like they had the real read there. EXE was left without budging towards the A bomb sites, and Leggy was left over towards the ramp, but this A hit comes in, and now it's 2v3. The gun is being able to upgrade by Leggy. It allows for it to be saved possibly, but we're gonna see what happens. I don't see royalty in a way in which they can win this round possibly. You never know, maybe God's not dead can pull some miracles out, no pun intended, but see what can transpire.
Oh jeez, nice kill coming through. That might have enabled the retake. They know that Lately is in the corner, so Lately actually, my word, I jumped over to God's Not Dead's POV there because I thought this guy's on fire. He's landing the shots. He knows where Lately is, but I made a mistake. I should have gone over to Lately. His back was against the wall. He knew he had to make a play. He just swings out and he finds a 2-piece. And there we go. That's just Sinister5 continuing their dominance here. Royalty, they're going to pick up a double AWP in response here. This is very interesting. Leggy is taking his AWP towards the A side. Doobie's taking his AWP towards ramp, and he's going to be looking for the early PK. He doesn't have any support. He's already been forced off. Somehow he's been able to get a kill. He even gets a no-scope shot off Lately, or rather Leggy's actually come in to support him, and he's been able to find 2 kills. And that support couldn't have come through at a better time. Elusive now left in the clutch, the 1v3. They know where he is as well. He's got time, and he knows where a couple of the players are. Let's see if he can make this work.
To win out this round is they just can't give Elusive not only the respect, but they can't give him the 1v1s that he's looking for. He's already got 2 1v1s that he's unable to capitalize on, but now they just got to make sure they got the buddy system intact, that the trade will come in.
Yeah.
If you lose, you got to be preemptive, and God's not dead. He has his number, and that's the 5th round posted. But again, 2 players falling, and that double AWP set up quite a hit on the economy. Doobie has to get a drop. The max loss bonus, I believe, it was max loss bonus into last round, so the economy was able to get built up a bit. But now royalty got 5. They need these last 2 rounds rather, but the terrorists, that being Sinister5, their bank isn't looking too good for a possible buy next round if this one does come at a bit of a cost. We're going to see what they can get done.
Elusive racking up that 90% headshot ratio with 11 kills. So I think he's top of the scoreboard. He is. Lately has 14, but Elusive's still at the top. And he has a 90% headshot ratio. That's pretty crazy, bro. That's impressive numbers.
That shows that you're relying, and we actually saw him get a one-tap last round over towards the player on mouth, so it definitely shows that he's confident in his aiming ability, taking those aim duels. And
for sure.
Gonna see what he can get done later in this half, but the wall of smoke towards outside. But what, a molly?
Yeah, he heard the molly tick, but he didn't shoot. I thought he was going to spam a couple shots through the smoke, probably would have got the kill, but he opts for the more disciplined approach. And Sinister5, well, there's nothing disciplined about the way they're making their way forward right now. Very aggressive, a lot of audio cues. And they are going to have to deal with Leggy, the AWPer, who's been able to get a couple kills here and there. He finds a second. That's not going to be the end of it, though. He's continuing to be pursued by these Sinister5 players, but Doobie coming through to support him is actually giving him a lifeline. Oh my god, you just can't stop this man right now. He finds himself a triple. And now again it's elusive in a 1v3. This one though is a lot more doable than he had in the previous round. He secured the plant and he's actually going to be able to get back into a desirable post-plant position. Royalty with two players coming through heaven and one from ramp. I don't think he has the time.
I just think it's questionable as to the position he planted. I mean, he planted behind the silo, and now he's going to play mouth. So this gets over, and they win out that round, that gunfight. But in terms of the plant position, as soon as they found out his position, even if he got the opening frag or the clutch, a Royalty player could have just stuck the bomb plants, and then would have been that all said and done. But that being said, elusive falls, 3 men stay alive, and 8-7 looks to be the way it goes.
Yeah.
As the economy in terms of the Sin5 side is not looking too great. Seeing a couple of Galils purchased up and AKs and a Tech 9 on lately's back. And last round of the half is on its way.
Yeah, this is actually a nice turnaround from Royalty. They've managed to get themselves into a position where they can make something of this half. Considering where they were, I think it was 8-4 at one stage, so this is pretty good from them. Donkey doesn't have a gun. But, okay, but God's Not Dead has 4K. That's...
And there's a nuke cannon dropped in spawn.
Okay, that's questionable. He's going to be tested here. He would have preferred to have a rifle. He has a Desert Eagle. Let's see if he can land some shots. He's going to get taken down by Elusive. Oh no. A series of unfortunate events has led to Sinister5 taking control of this A bomb, or rather of this B bomb site. Deviant catches Leggy off guard as Leggy falls prey like a moth to the flame. He gives all his attention to the B site, and Deviant, he just walks his way in through the vacant ramp area. Now it's a 2v4. Royalty have to go for the retake. That's a nice shot from God's Not Dead. That's actually breathed some life back into this round for Royalty, which was looking so dire. Now they're making their way forward, both EXE and himself charging towards the site. They've got the kits and a couple mollies. They have a bunch of utility actually. This is doable for Royalty if they can land some quick shots and maybe just force some awkward positions for Sinister5, but zero chance. Just slaps them down with the 2-piece and secures the 9th for Sinister5.
It just upsets me that the round went so badly over something so avoidable. Because Donkey, if he has a rifle there, he's good for possibly 1. And that makes the round just that more winnable for Royalty, because he's caught in no man's land with the Deagle and he's ultimately unable to get anything done.
Yeah.
Now it's 9-6, and that was 9 rounds in the T half, and Royalty, they really need this pistol round if they're looking to win the series out 2-0. But it looks like at this moment it's going to be a 1-all series.
Yeah, that is seeming to be the case, but maybe Royalty can bring some heat here on their T side and secure themselves the 2-0. My word, God's Not Dead with a massive job on his hands here. He's got support as well. Elusive juggling weapons. Finally, he's going to fumble a USP into his hands, but I don't know how he even gets towards the side. Royalty, they've just shut him out completely. They don't even allow him to get close. Now it's just Deviant left on the charge. 1v3. He's not slowing down at all. He gets caught in the air, and that's the second pistol round now being secured by Royalty. And
I just think that may have been a bit of a misread from Sinister5. I mean, there was no players on the A-bomb side. The only player that was there was that play over towards Mouth. I think they double-stacked ramp, or maybe even triple-stacked ramp. But anyway,
yeah.
That being said, Royalty went out a much-needed pistol round, and they're going to have three Galils, 3 rifles, and 2 SMGs going into this round that could possibly farm against the unarmored USPs and the unarmored P250 being that of Deviant. Now it's 9-7, and now Royalty, they need to string some rounds together. As you said prior, got to get the economy under control, and then they can possibly looking at a 9-8 scoreline after this round. Hopefully, if everything goes all right in terms of their case, they're actually able to get the opening kill over towards Lately, which is Doobie's job. And you're looking at a possible 9-8 scoreline. And then if Royalty can win out the first couple buy rounds, you're looking at maybe a 2-0 victory for them.
Yeah.
Being said, it's a lot of work that's going to need to come out from them.
Yeah, it is. The one thing that Royalty do have going for them is when I watched Sinister5 on this map against Dynamic, they did have some flaws on their CT side, and they struggled to deal with Dynamic's aggression. Once they managed to get hold of Dynamic's aggressive approach, then they started to manage to deal with the CT side. So I'm waiting to see the first gun round. Do Sinister5 have what it takes to shut down Royalty's aggression? Because they are the team who's going to be taking fights, who's going to be looking to try and catch Sinister5 off guard and create a bit of space. And we've seen on Dust 2 that the structure is there in this roster. So that tells me that this T side certainly is going to have some merit to it. Let's see if Slayer can save the Galil. It's probably overextended here. didn't really have to push up through the secret stairs. Wanted to see if he could get an exit frag on one of the players leaving the A site, but in the end loses his gun, and now we're going to be seeing the buy coming through for Sinister5, but it's not going to be a full buy. And yeah, we saw this cost massively the other day. No head armor against the Galils. It can be a problem. And
God's not there, it's got the read. He's, well, I assume maybe he thought they were going to completely eco. But I mean, an unarmored headshot, an unarmored head rather, against this USB, he can pick up a couple frags if everything goes his way. But I assume he would have read that it possibly would have been an eco from Sinister5. But
yeah,
these unarmored heads against these Galils, one shot, headshot potential. The same comp he said about the M4. So we're looking at a bit of a wishy-washy buy in terms of Sinister5 sort of ranks, and outside control is going to be attempted to be taken by. Hello? I think he must have hit his mouse or something.
Yeah, that's a good point. That was awkward. Not going to be costing them too much. He was meant to molly off the shipping container there. As we see the molly coming through now, won't see any CTs, and Donkey's going to be swinging around now into mouth, and nice decisive frag there. He takes down Elusive. He's got support from EXE as Royalty start to march in towards the safe bomb site. Zero Chance has a job to do playing from behind Silo. He's able to get one, but is he going to get overwhelmed? Somehow he's able to adjust and take down Doobie as well. He's got some support that's come through from lately. How has Zero Chance stayed alive for this long? Finally, he goes down, and now it's Lacey, and the Clutch is going to try flash his way into the bomb site, but well avoided by Donkey means that he's able to get the kill. And that's the first gun round now won by Royalty, so they can get themselves ahead here, Nick.
I'm not a fan of the AWP purchase, and as I think you and we did cast a nuke game over the weekend, and we spoke about having to need a plan, especially when you're buying that AWP. You need to look for that early aggression, but in terms of the late round, it tends to become quite a liability. But I'm not a fan of the AWP purchase into this round. You know, Sinister5 have fully invested into last round.
Yeah.
So buying an AWP is a bit touch and go, especially if you lose this round. Your economy is literally in the dumpsters. So maybe a bit of a Mac 10 purchase would have been the better way, especially up close and personal, especially with this AWP hitting the air bomb sites. It's going to be a bit of a wishy-washy scenario. There's going to be Zero Chance attempting to pepper up Doobie towards outside, but Doobie's going to... he's going to give Elusive a bit of his own medicine, but Zero Chance, he responds back with a 1-dig of his own. But Slayers, he's playing up close and personal with this USP. He can maybe get something done. A double think goes his way, especially with the help of a teammate. Could possibly upgrade to this AWP that's around the corner, that being on Leggy's back. And this round could go bad to worse for Royalty if they don't clear this position.
Yeah, I do appreciate how patient they're actually being right now. Where is Lately? Okay, he's actually tucked into trophy room here. And Royalty are waiting for some sort of aggression to come through. And they're not checking Slayer. He doesn't opt for the trigger discipline, but he's still able to get one kill. Not a bad result. Deviant with the Desert Eagle also gets a frag. Able to upgrade his gun. He secures a bit of positional control on the bomb. And Royalty don't have any clue as to where Lately is situated right now. They're going to go outside through secret down to the B bomb side. Oh man, that's so unfortunate that the vent is still covered. That means Lately can't drop down and try and meet them there.
He's going to be able to get the AWP. He should get the AWP. He's got no armor. That's what he's going to do.
So he's going to just save it, I guess. That's not a bad decision actually at all. Because the economic situation's not great. So free AWP, that's going to bolster them in the next round.
Especially when Royalty purchased it, and it's pretty much an AWP for free. You didn't really invest much into this round. You couple Deagles, couple upgraded pistols at that, and now Lately gets himself a free AWP out of it. And again, I wasn't a big fan of the purchase. You knew they weren't going to be on a full buy. You didn't really have to purchase the AWP into this round. Could have gone with a Mac 10 and eco-farmed yourself, done a bit of exploring around the map. But that being said, Lately is able to save this AWP pretty much for free.
Yeah.
And again, the economy on Royalty side is not looking too great on their own. Doobie's going to have around about $4,000, I would assume. Yep. Donkey has got 9,000 of his own, which is looking good for, as well as God's Not Dead. But if they lose a couple rounds, things are going to be a bit touch and go on their camp.
Yeah, they are. Royalty on the T side showing some flames. They've gotten up 4 rounds now on their T side, 4 consecutive rounds. So this is prime opportunity now. Sinister5, they have to get themselves back into this. This is the round where it matters. This is where they have to start getting a bit of a shoe in. Doobie gets the frag onto Slayer, and on the background he's going to try and charge towards Secret, but Elusive was there to make sure Not such shenanigans shall transpire.
That's a bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah, got it out eventually.
Yeah, you got it out eventually. That was a bit confusing because you got the man advantage, and then you're gonna try cross secret early. Now you're gonna push A through a smoke. Deviant's actually trade positions, but he's only good for one. God's not dead, and Donkey get each of their own, and Zero Chance only good for one over towards Mustang. Donkey gets the trade, and now it's lately left in 1v2 situation. However, he does have the lobby flank coming in, and him catching timing, he could get two.
Oh, yeah.
But Donkey finishes that out. Great round from Royalty. 11's posted on the board. And now we're looking at what Royalty's got. Maybe they've done their homework on the T side. And as you said, Sinister5, they looked a bit susceptible to possibilities over on the weekend. And maybe that's going to be the same case in this matchup.
Slayer struggling to find his footing here on Niix. I was singing his praises on the weekend and heading into this game as well. The one thing I will say about him is that he seems to be a little bit inconsistent in terms of performing at the best of his ability. Maybe he should like try and tone it down a little bit so that he doesn't try and make all the crazy plays. And when it works out for him, it works out really well. But just notch it down a bit to be slightly more consistent, taking the game a bit easier, being a bit more composed, and not always going for the crazy things. You know, he's one of those flashy players. Like most Oppers, you know, they like to show off. They like to show how they can flick their wrists and things.
100%. And into this round, quite a fan of our Royalty played it. They had the read that, at least this round, they had the read that it wasn't going to be a full investment, and they just chilled. They waited for the lobby crunch, and it came in, able to get three kills with no reply. And I think Slay and Elusive, they should save, I would assume, but they've got the money in the bank. They've got the full loss bonus, so maybe that's why they're sticking around. Possibly could see if they can get something done. Elusive's just gonna try to pick up the scraps at the deagle over towards lobby. But that's 12 rounds posted, and now we're getting into the meat and potatoes, as you say. It's 12-9, and now it's going to be a very, very interesting end to the series. And as we've said before, I know Sinister5 definitely aren't going to be in their own heads. They've got the experience in the back. They know they can pull this back, but it's just going to be the manner in which they do so is going to be questionable.
Like I said, they got off to a slow start on the CT side at Niix on the weekend, and it's looking like that's the case here once again. However, when they did find their footing, they were able to just climb straight back into the half, and they managed to close it out from there. So, not done by any stretch of the imagination, but 12-9, starting to get precarious. Are they going to buy? Yeah, they've got enough money to get the full investment into the round. They've got the AWP on Slayer, so they have everything they need in the situation. But lose this round, then they're looking at a potential 14-9.
Yeah, and even after that 14-9, a potential 2-0 loss, and that's going to be a bit of a tough one to take, especially losing your map picks. I mean, you know that they could be falling back on it. This is a bit of an awkward duel over towards outside. Elusive gets the opening kill over towards Doobie with the gap in the smoke, and Donkey and EXE falling to the flames almost.
Yeah, I don't know why Doobie's taking that fight, man. Like, he's already gotten himself down to secret. He can be such a menace to the CTs if he just plays around there, forces the ramp player to rotate out. That allows his teammates to come through. He just continues to shoot through the smoke, and Elusive follows the traces. It's an easy kill. Now they have to wrap through, and the one-dimensional hit into the speed bomb site. There's two players for him to deal with. Deviant on the angle. He's doing damage, but he's not finding the frag. Nothing fatal comes through. Look at how low 3 of these 4 players are for Royalty.
Were the windows broken when he started taking the gunfights?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's so unlucky. Elusive gets taken out through the smoke. But I just wonder, Deviant, he sprayed a lot of bullets, and maybe the windows weren't broken. Obviously, windows in this game, they're a bit broken. Sometimes you can dink someone with an AK through a window. So I think maybe that's why a couple of Royalty players are still alive. Him fighting through that unbroken window, not doing as much damage as you would have thought so.
Because, you know, like a pane of glass just, like, takes full velocity away from the bullet,
obviously,
you know,
without a doubt.
Just like CS logic every day of the
Exactly, 100%. But now, as you said before, that now 3 players have fallen, so that's 3 players that need to reinvest into this round. Slay and Zero Chance, they can drop over 2 M4s with the lost bonus that they've got. Deviant can buy his own. But now Royalty, they've strung a couple rounds together. The economy's looking good. 13-9's the score, and they're looking at possibly a 2 on the cards. They're possibly, especially how we've looked at how they performed on the T side. They haven't dropped a single round. I've just realized. I was about to say that they dropped 3, but they haven't. They haven't dropped a single round.
7 rounds in a row. And they're going to look to just continue to charge on here in the T side. And they're not going to be giving an inch away this time around. They're just going to be sitting back and patiently and waiting. They recognize the magnitude of the situation right now and what opportunity presents itself in this round. They can get themselves in a very commanding position if they can win this round. Not much money left in the bank for Sinister5 in the next, so that means they could get 15-9 for free. Let's see if that's going to be the case, or if Sinister5 are going to be finding their first round here in the second half. Looks like it's going to be the upper bomb side hit. Doobie lurking through outside. Going to be having a bit of presence coming through mouth. He needs to watch out. The Slayer on the AWP has posted the angle. As soon as that smoke dissipates, he's going to be vulnerable. And Royalty are just waiting for Sinister5's utility to conclude. And in fact, they're going to push through the market. Body Donkey leads the charge. He's got cover from God's Not Dead, but there's a couple trade frags coming through off of Sinister5. Elusive, somehow he's been able to stay alive for an elongated period. Doobie gets the trade, but he gets taken down by Slayer, who finally gets his 8th kill. And now it's Leggy left in the clutch, and he now knows where the 2 remaining players are. Deviant getting aggressive, not going to be sitting back and waiting. He's pushed forward, and there's no ways that Leggy anticipates this. He still thinks that Deviant's playing from outside. He's going to commit to the bomb plant first up. And Slayer's just trying to take the attention here just to allow Deviant to creep into the bomb site. Leggy not at all considering though. He hears the footsteps. Deviant just starts running all of a sudden. That allows Leggy enough time to adjust. And now the dust has settled. The problem is that the bomb's not planted for Leggy. Trades up for the AK. He's charging forward, knife in hand. Slayer's off the bomb. He doesn't have the kit. Ring around the road. He has no kit. It's a shot. He misses. Leggy wins the clutch again. And he robs Sinister5s of their hopes and dreams in broad daylight.
Oh my days, what a round from Leggy. That shot over towards Deviant, over towards Hut rather. What an absolute great readjustment, and then he knew the bomb wasn't planted for him, chooses to trade up for the AK, which allows him for a bit of room for error with regards to crosshair placement and possible missed shots. And Slayer on that AWP up close and personal, unable to get the no-scope off, and a great 1v2 clutch from Leggy, and that has to be a hit for...
Yeah, how do you take that?
And I think it's interesting, like, you lose a round like that of Sinister5, and it's actually Royalty who called a tactical timeout.
I know, I was going to point that out as soon as you finished talking. Royalty are like, sit and stew in that. But I don't know why Deviant ran. I don't know why he started running. There was so much time, he could have just kept on walking. Leggy had no idea in the world. Deviant made all the perfect decisions there besides the last one. And that one undid all his hard work. Anyway, job's not done yet here. Sinister5, they're still alive and kicking, and it looks like they want to get aggressive. Pushing towards Leggy's AWP here once again. It hasn't proved out well for them in the past, and it's not going to prove out here once again. Prove to go too well, that is. Leggy's AWP is a force to be reckoned with here on Nuke, and Royalty, they're taking some map control now as they make their way towards ramp. Deviant has responded, but he's only going to be good for one. Look at the trade frags here from Royalty. The spacing is on point. Every single time, it just seems they've got the buddy system in place. There's always potential for the trade. And I can't understate enough, or I can't understate how important that is, especially on Nuke, to be moving around, making sure you're trading out the whole time on the T side.
And I think Sinister5, they've left, they don't have anything left in the tank as to what it looks like. They're falling back on a double hut push, which... in what world is that going to work without util? They're pushing it dry, they're walking into crosses, they're able to get one, but then the trades just come out and it's ultimately free kills for Royalty, and now they're going to try to retake this B bomb site, and Donkey and God's Not Dead get one of their own, and it's 15-9, and just like that, where we thought Sinister5 would have possibly had a say in this half and this map, but they haven't posted anything on the CT side, and now there's 5 FAMASs on the board.
Yeah.
Are you looking at a possible 2-0 sweep for
Yeah, I thought you made the Gigabrain call with the prediction on the Dust 2 win after that game. And I thought you're on the money by predicting Sinister5 here for Nuke as well. But it just goes to show that momentum actually plays quite a significant role. You should have taken me up on the swap when I gave you the chance. Doobie, he's got 2 players nearly. He's able to connect on the second. He does some decent damage, and Royalty are still in position here to go for the upper bomb side hit if they so choose. All 4 players grouped up in lobby. The world is their oyster.
Now Elusive's already rotated off, and they're gonna fake the upper hit, and Slayer's one bolt of utility, and Slayer's already out of position, and he's not good. Deviant rather, not Slayer, sorry. Deviant, he like one bolt of utility upper, and he's rotated out, and now that's the B bomb side pretty much for free. There's one player stuck behind a smoke and decon trying to get something done. And Leggy's able to get 0 chance, and now we're looking at 69.
This is GG. I don't know.
What absolutely lovely counter-strike from Royalty. That's all I have to say.
It's a symphony in motion. Nick, elusive, looking to produce a symphony of his own. Channel is in a buck as he travels forward, but all he's going to have is Niix as he gets destroyed. It's Royalty Esports who secure the series 2-0 by picking up Niix stylishly with the 16-9. Who the hell would have thought? I mean, we gave them some credit after that performance on Dust, but neither of us thought that they'd be following that up with a win on Niix as well, but they just showed Sinister5 what's up.
And especially not in that convincing of a fashion, right? Like, we're not even talking about 30 rounds of Counter-Strike being played. It was 69 and 68. That's a bit of a stomp in my books, but it just leaves me in awe from that Royalty roster. I expected it to be 1-1. I did think the veto literally scaffolded that to be the conclusion, but now 69 and 68, I'm a bit taken aback by that. I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect it to go that way.
Yeah, you and me both, Nick. Caught me off guard as well. I must say, very impressive though from Royalty, and it's something that they spoke about. Their coach having a big impact in their game. It's something that Doobie mentioned, and it came through today. You could just see they had a structure. Every single round had a plan. They were constantly thinking about what had gone on before to change their approach going on in the future. And that's the sign of a good team. A team who's evolving even when they're on top, making sure that they continue to do what they need to stay on top. So, that is the first game we've casted of this Telkom VS Gaming Masters Season 5. Royalty pick up all of the points against Sinister5 in their match.
If that's something that could possibly come out of other teams, I wouldn't call that necessarily an upset. I guess in some sort of realm of possibility it is seen as one. But ultimately, a 2-0 victory, and if that happens again from another team that's not expected to have that sort of scoreline, I'm excited for what this tournament has in store.
Yeah, you and me both, Nick. Let's talk about what's in store. You and I are going to be back here once again on the 13th of August. That is Thursday, 2 days from now. Dynamic versus HAzE Esports. That's the match we have lined up. It's not confirmed yet that that's a game we'll be casting, but on paper, that's what we've got. So, that's it from us this evening. Nick, it's been a pleasure, my man.
I've very much enjoyed it. And not only have I been joined by the great HAzE, but also we were able to watch some lovely Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
I'm just left with a smile on my face for that result, and I was completely gobsmacked that was going to be the case. But be there as it may, that's the first of many up and coming over on the VS Gaming channel.
Yeah,
and I think we got some excited stuff to get stuck into later on in the tournament.
Absolutely. I see a question in chat. When are ATK playing? Well, you're going to have to wait and find out. We don't have a match lined up right now, but we haven't hard booked the rest of the group stage. So follow VS Gaming on their social media to see exactly when your favorite team will be playing. Our next game is on the 13th of August. You can catch the schedule as well, guys. Go have a look on the tournament website. That is where you can find all the information. You can follow the format, you can get the schedule, you can see the results, you can see the upcoming games. All the information that you need is on the tournament website. So guys, make sure you go check it out. You can follow me on social media. I'm at HAzE Castings. You can follow Mr. Nick as well if you want to see his terrible takes at Nick Bart. And yeah, guys, that is going to be it from this evening. That is going to be it from us this evening. Grats to Royalty for picking up the 2-0. Sinister5, well, we know that the players in that team, that they're just going to bounce back stronger in their next game. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. This has been the Telkom VS Gaming Masters Season 5, stream number 1. We're going to be back on Thursday, 8 p.m. Be there, join us, stay safe until then, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Good night.